Here we go. It's been all too long, but Unknown to Icon is back. Season 3, our second year in charge of Ballinamallard. And we've been doing some transfers. There's been a few ins, there's been a few outs, and I think we're just about ready for our first game of the season. The board still have a slight issue with my financial management, though. What's happening, guys? Hello and welcome back to Unknown to Icon. Season 3, Episode 1 is here. We are officially a Danske Bank Premiership team. How good. Fully promoted and up. Everything's all sorted now and we've gone through the transfer window. Transfer window's obviously still active for the first few games of the seasons, but we've pretty much covered all of our business unless somebody was to leave. Before we jump into transfers and our first game of the season against Portadown, let's just have a quick look at the league table and at the season preview. So as you can see, we're expected to finish in 10th spot after being promoted. Well, I didn't realise. Top team here gets European football. Excellent. Couple of years, we might be playing in Europe without even moving to a different side. This is great. But there you go, due to finish in 10th. Apparently going to finish above Portadown, who we're playing against today, although we are away from home today, so it might be a bit of a challenge, and we are the underdogs in that game. And then touted to finish ahead of Newry City again, same as we did last year in the Championship. I wouldn't say that I've had the best transfer window that I've ever had, but we've just about got it right. You'll see as we go through. Speaking of that, let's go and have a look at what transfers we've made. Who are the ins? Who are the outs? Here we go then. So as you can see, these are our ins and outs for the first transfer window of the season. Unfortunately, young Glenn Williams, good lad, winger, right winger, 2.5 star current ability. Not a bad young player, to be honest. I was a bit devastated, but he left on a free, unfortunately. Couldn't do anything about it, and Lance snapped him up. And then Salo Jallo, I finally obviously got that lad to move on. I do feel bad for him because, you know, he's probably not a bad player. It's just he doesn't score goals. He's a striker that doesn't score goals. Maybe he just needs to have a bit more of a position think. Maybe he should just play on the wing instead of apparently his best position being a striker, because he's not a striker. Anyway, enough about the outs. Only those two have gone out the door. A few transfers have come in. So we got Johnny Fraser. He is probably going to be our starting right winger for the majority of the year, provided there's no injuries and stuff. 3-star winger. He's a Northern Irish lad. He comes in for free from H&W Welders as well, which is good. So I'm hoping we're going to have some decent performances at Johnny Fraser. Next signing, we have Lewis Patterson. He comes in as a younger 21-year-old Northern Irish lad, centre-back, 2-star current ability and a 4 to 5-star potential ability. He also came in for free. He was at Crusaders and was on loan last season at Knockbrenner. Scored a goal as well from centre-back and got a 6.82 across the season. And then has moved to us for free for this season. Ben Cushney, top goal scorer for last season in the Championship. I brought him in permanently. So he is a 3-star at this level as well, which is good. And obviously we know he's got high potential, good goal scorer. We don't need to know much about Ben Cushney. Last season, 23 goals in 36 games, 3 assists and an average 7 rated with 2 Player of the Match awards. He's a good player. After him, we brought in Chris Paul. Chris Paul, originally, I brought in to play in central midfield. But he's a pretty good right back. And the quality of our right backs, both of our sets of full backs actually this season since starting, have come down a bit. So they're not as highly rated as they were. He can play across a few positions, as you can see there. So he can play central midfield, CDM, centre back and right back. I expect him to dot around all over the place. Got quite a few of these players now that can play multiple positions, which is good diversity. Then we have got our main man for the year. Our main striker, Harry Wilson, Northern Irish lad, comes in for free from Fleetwood. Well, I think he was actually released by Fleetwood, and then we picked him up for free, but he is a current ability 4-star striker, which is good. We've got him playing on a deep line forward role at the moment. We've obviously, the wingers coming in. Similar tactic to what we were playing last year. We're going to see if these guys can make it work. But 4-star current ability and a 4 to 5-star, obviously. potential ability at just 20 years old. Decent signing. And we've got him until Christmas, well, until the end of the year, 2026. So he is on a longer term contract, which is good. So if anybody wants to sweep him up, some of the bigger teams, something like that, we might get some money, or what I'm hoping is he's just going to be a superstar for us, to be honest. Next in comes Bobby Harvey. He can play across the back three there, so he can play left back, centre back, and right back, which is great. Love somebody with a bit of ability to swap it about on the back lanes. It gives us some real good options off the bench if he's on the pitch and we need to move him around instead of bringing him off. 18 years old, so he's still got some development, and he obviously is a 5-star potential player. But you can see he's exactly the same star rating across all of his back line, which is good. He comes in for free from Ballyclare. Then next up, Jake Willis comes in just as a squad option for us at left back. It's a free loan. He comes in for no wages. 2-star current ability, obviously 4-star potential. Likes to play as an inverted wing back, but we've just been playing him as a full back, which he's been doing a half decent job at. He is ineligible today because he actually plays for Portadown, who we're playing today. So we're loaning him off of them. And now because of that, the season preview thinks maybe not because of him, but the season preview thinks that we're going to finish above them, which is just very interesting. I would never be loaning our players out to clubs that are going to be competing with us. I don't think that makes any sense, but they've done it. So Jake Willis is in. James McCarthy comes in from HW Welders. He is one of our starting centre-backs. He is going to be the big man at the back. 23-year-old Northern Irish lad comes in for free, like I say, from HW Welders. He had a decent season last season, 7.09 playing for HW Welders, and he's now obviously playing for us in the Premiership. So hopefully he can carry on that good form from last year and have a great season for us as well. Then, last but not least, Liam Nolan. He is a central midfielder that can also play DM and centre-back. He's great across all three positions. He's actually starting centre-back for us today in the first game against Portadown. And he comes in as well for free after being released by AFC Telford. So, as you can see, we've got some decent players coming in, which means we're ready to get on with our game for today. Let's have a look at the squad. This is the lineup for today then. Shields in goal as always. Considered maybe bringing in another goalkeeper, but to be honest, Shields is pretty much at the same level as the keeper I was looking at, so just decided that Shields is going to be the main man. So Shields in goal as always. Scott in at left back. That is going to be near enough his permanent position from now on. McCarthy and Nolan make up the centre-back pairing, and then Harvey is on the right-back role for today. That leaves Paul and McKinley as our midfield two, with Tienan, Ruhi and new boy Fraser on the right-hand side, with the main man, Harry Wilson, up top as the deep line forward. We are going to be playing on a positive mentality against Portadown, even though we're away from home. I think we're going to be okay. Not too much in the way of concerns of injuries or fitness levels. Ruhi probably won't see out the full game, but we have got James Convey back in on loan again, who can obviously play at Cam, which is great. Mikey Place, Ben Cushney, Niall Grace, Josh Doherty, Callum Byers and new boy Lewis Patterson make up the bench for today. Let's get into the game and hopefully get our first win of the season. Here we go then. We are in Portadown against Ballinamallard. First game of the season in the top division of Northern Ireland. We've made it through after last season's top tier performance all the way through last year. And this is our squad for the day. We are looking all right. Decent team. Well, we're a little bit weaker in some positions than I would have liked because a couple of players we were trying to bring in weren't necessarily available, or they were wanting way more money than what we were able to spend. I mean, we're about £700 over the wage budget or something crazy already, and that was just about pulling together a decent squad. I made some silly decisions along the way, to be perfectly honest. Oh, that's fast. Let's slow that down. You can tell that I've been racing through the pre-season games. Harvey back out to Ruhi, and the ball goes over for Mitchell. A couple of things that were a bit silly, not wanting to lose Reece Byrne, thinking he was going to be a top talent, which he is, I think, at the level we were playing at last year. Maybe not a, top tier baller at this kind of level. So, we've put him on a tiny money, but a small money contract, which, that just would have been a little bit more in the kitty for us to spend on some, decent players at this level, which I think probably would have been the better idea. Very level game we're having here against Portadown, which is, good for us, seeing as we're away from home. We're actually getting slightly, the better hand against them. Not any unbelievable performances from any of our players, but nobody really seems to be having a bad game other than Ronan McKinley is not having a good game. But here we go. He's going to change my mind on it here. Ball out to Thielen on the wing. He's already been carded. That's a slight concern with James Thielen. Don't want him losing his position. And that was a terrible pass there from Scott. Not like him to misplace the ball so easily. Ruhi back to McKinley. Ball over the top towards Harry Wilson. He has got his head on it, but it's straight into the hands of McKenna. First touch for the ball, not ideal. Ball hoofed way forward. Nolan picks it up at the back. Is Paul as a ball-winning midfielder. Harry Wilson this time gets a foot to it, and it is saved and put out for a... Oh, I thought it was a corner. He's missed it. What have you done to me, Harry? You've made me look a proper mug. Right, let's get in with the second half. Right, we're back in for the second half, and the boys are raring to go. Scott out to Paul. Ball in towards Fraser. And it does go over the bar again for another goal kick for Portadown. We're not playing badly at all. We're having a couple of wayward games. I am considering bringing off, in fact, I'm going to. 6.3 and a 6.4 just isn't good enough. So Thielen is going to come off. The question is what to do here. I think we put Fraser across to the right-hand side and change him to an inverted winger. We'll drop it down to Sports, who plays better there. And then what we're able to do is bring Ben Cushney off of the bench to play as the right winger. That takes Thielen off, who's having a bit of a poor game and is on a yellow card. And then James Convey can actually come in here as a 2-star Mazzala, which is just as good as everybody else we've got available. Liam Nolan is knackered, so we're going to change him out. I think we probably do that with... Let's give Lewis Patterson a game. Why not? Why not? Let's see how he goes. And that'll be our 3 changes for now. 1 stoppage, 3 changes. Come on then, lads. Let's encourage the boys. We're doing well. We've held them out. We've had the better half of things so far. Fraser's now not having a great game. All right, bit better. It's okay. He's starting to pick it up now. He's playing on the right-hand side. Harvey with the head over the top, only as far as Jordan on the corner of the box. Ruhi's looking a bit tired and wants to come off. I don't know what quite happened there. I thought we'd made the stop, but then apparently we hadn't. Right, let's maybe bring Ruhi off and freshen things up. So some slight changes. Grace has come on and has replaced Ruhi. Ruhi's dropped back. Convey's come up into that shadow striker role. Paul has moved across to be our central midfielder on support, and Grace has come in to be our ball-winning midfielder. I think that's all that we want to do right now. We have got one more change, one more stoppage available to us and one more change available to us if we want it. John Scott not having the best of games either. I do have Doherty on the bench. We'll wait and see if it's needed. Come on then, the boys. Let's go. 13 shots, 5 on target. We're having a pretty good game here. I think overall we're doing all right, considering we're the team playing away from home. They haven't had too much of... Nearly jinxed it before it even happened there. They haven't had too much of an attacking threat on us. It's been more their defensive work that's kept us out. Harry Wilson had a bit of a naff debut, so he's come off and Mikey Place has come on. I mean, look, I'll take a 0-0 draw, but to be honest, I prefer us to, win. There you go. Not the most eventful debut in the Premiership, but to be honest, considering we were away from home, we would probably take a point in that kind of game. Saying that, the XG puts us quite a distance ahead of them, but some decent performances all round. Neil Shields had a great game in goal. Harvey, Patterson and McCarthy all 7 pluses, with Patterson picking up a 7.3 there, as well as Nolan. The back line here looking pretty strong, and Cushney had a great game out on the right wing. That's it for the first game of the season. I wonder if we're going to be all right for the rest of them. We're only expected to finish 10th, and as long as we don't get relegated, I'm pretty sure we'll still be in a job coming the end of the season. But I've got higher ambitions than that. We're going to try and aim for around mid-table, but at a minimum, we need to avoid relegation this year. Well, there you have it, 0-0 on the first day. Definitely not the W we were trying to achieve, but the way I see it, that's a pretty good result. The team are still trying to gel together and get used to playing together. So away from home against a team that, were favourites to beat us, I'm pretty happy with that. If you've enjoyed that video and this series so far, please do smash that like button. It does make a massive, massive difference. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more FM23 content.